Hey guys, I'm MJ. I'm back. I'm with another new video. In this video, we are going to be making some bruschetta. It's kind of like a toast with some toppings on top, like onions, tomatoes, mushroom, and cheese. Cheese is a very important part in that. First, we are adding some olive oil here, and let's increase the flame little bit to medium and add our sesame seeds here. As you can see, our seeds are popping. That means it's a pretty good sign. The oil is pretty hot. We are going to be making three types of bruschetta. One pesto and tomato one, and here we have some cottage cheese and feta one, and we are going to be making one mushroom and tomato one. First, we will be making the cottage cheese one. I am not adding any salt here because my feta cheese is already a salt brine cheese, which is a very salty cheese, so I am going to not add salt here. Saute it nicely. You don't need to cook this cottage cheese, which is called paneer here, for a very long time. Just saute it little bit for 2 or 3 minutes and it will get nicely cooked. Now what we are going to be adding here is crushed pepper. It's really your choice. You can add how much ever you want. I am adding about 1 tablespoon of pepper here. So just mix it nicely and cook it for like 1 more minute, and then it's done. We can move on to our mushroom. So now that our cottage cheese is sauteed, you can see the oil is still there, so I'm not going to add any more oil. I'll just add our mushrooms here. It's actually thinly sliced mushrooms. Don't mix the mushrooms too much. Just slowly toss them around so that the shape stays together even when the mushroom sinks. The mushroom is going to shrink a little, so if you add more mushrooms, that's really good because the mushroom will shrink and it will feel like less mushrooms. But since I'm going to add this mushroom in a single piece of toast, or maybe this will come for 2 pieces of toast, that's why I'm adding some little mushroom. Now we are going to be adding some salt to it. The mushrooms will release some water, but that's okay. Mix it in nicely. Now the same, we are adding some pepper here. This toast will be better if you use olive oil. The main purpose of this is using a cheese and olive oil. You can use any kind of cheese, but today I am using cottage cheese and feta cheese. Usually softer cheeses go well with this toast. Let this mushroom cook. All the water will get evaporated and everything. And as you can see here, this side, we have our tomatoes here. So we'll add salt to the tomatoes and some extra virgin olive oil. Just a little bit to give a tangy taste to that tomato. Now we'll take the same spoon and we are going to just toss it around until the salt and oil is mixed with the tomatoes. You don't need to cook the tomatoes or anything. It's just going to be better plain like this. So guys, as you can see, our mixture here is ready and the tomato is there. Now we are moving on to the simple and easy pesto, which you can make anytime, anywhere. It just requires coriander and some mint leaves are here. I have mixed them both, and here you can see some almonds and walnuts and half lemon. Add some salt, pepper, then these nuts, then the coriander, mint and the lemon juice. Squeeze it with 2 to 3 tablespoons of olive oil and blend it nicely together. You will get a fine smooth with some coarse nuts and everything, nice pesto, which we are going to be using it as a spread on our bread. Toast the bread. As you can see, the olive oil, the leftover olive oil from all the sauteing and everything, it's there. So take a piece of bread. I'm using multigrain bread here. You can also use wheat bread for the healthier option, or else you can use normal sandwich bread or any other kind of bread you have. Just lightly brush it on both sides. You don't need too much oil, just lightly brush it because the oil itself is less. We are looking for a nice crisp on the bread. You can also pop the bread inside the microwave for 5 minutes to get a crispy texture. So just keep it on the flame. Increase the flame to medium high until the bread gets crisp on one side. Then you can turn it over and do the same. So let the bread nicely get crisp. Let's start assembling our toast here. So first let's add some pesto. As you can see how creamy it is. When you touch it and see like this, fine granules of the nuts will be visible. So that is the texture we are looking for. If you want, you can just blend it coarsely so that you will get a crispy type of pesto, which will also be good. This pesto can be used for pastas, pizzas, basically anything. You can just eat it like dip with the chips also. Now what we are going to be doing is taking our mushrooms and just layering it on top of the bread. Nicely cover the bread fully. Now we are going to be taking our tomatoes and just sprinkling a little bit on top. Now with this side we are just going to be taking a cottage cheese and adding it on top. Just spread it nicely around the bread, and here as you can see we have the feta cheese. This is a very salty cheese. Let's just top it off a little bit on top of this, and for the remaining tomatoes we'll just add it on top of our pesto. So yeah, as you can see, our bruschetta is ready. 3 different types. Like, share and subscribe to Heavenly Stuff to see more amazing videos like this. Until then, I'll see you in the next one.